Hey guys, so today's video we're going to be making some bath bombs for Valentine's Day, and these will make really cute gifts. I'll show you how we, once we get those done, how we wrap them up and everything as well. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope if you decide to make them that you have as much fun as we are. Okay, so right now I'm just showing you the ingredients that you're going to need to make your bath bombs with. And I will also post a recipe that I used, or a couple recipes that I've used down in the comments below. And once you have all of your ingredients together, you're just going to take your bowl and you're going to start out with about a half a cup of baking soda. And then you're going to do 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And I actually omitted the cornstarch in one of the batches that I did, and I think that it turned out a little bit better. It's not quite as smooth, but it just seems like they held together a little better. The next thing you're going to want to put in there is 1/4 of a cup of your Epsom salt. And then last, you're going to want to add 1/4 a cup of the citric acid. And this is what is actually going to make your bath bombs fizz. You want to chop that up, get all of the lumps and bumps out, and just give it a really good stir. You want to put all your dry ingredients together before you start adding any of your liquid ingredients. But now that I've got that stirred up, I'm going to add the body oil that I chose. And I think the recipe that this one called for was 4 teaspoons, but I only put 2. I think 4 just ended up making the bath bombs a little bit too oily once we dissolve those into the water. So I think 2 worked out really well. Once I get that in, I'm going to stir that again. You want to stir in between every liquid that you add, just so that you're getting it good and mixed up. If you dump everything in one spot or you put too much in at one time, it is going to cause your citric acid to start to work, and then it's going to start to dissolve. And if it doesn't dissolve in your bowl, it will dissolve in your molds, and then it'll just ruin your batch of bath bombs that you're making. So right here, I'm just adding my essential oil. We started out with the lavender, and I put 4 or 5 drops of the lavender and maybe 1 or 2 drops of the vanilla. I wanted the lavender to stand out a little bit more than the vanilla, so that's why I did it that way. The last thing that you want to do is to add your food coloring, and I start out with about 4 drops, and I'll mix it up really good. And then you will want to take your spray bottle of witch hazel and just mist it 4 or 5 times to kind of wet your mixture a little bit, and that actually will make your color spread out through your mixture. And you may want to repeat this several times until you get the desired color that you want, but just be careful not to wet your mixture too much. Once you're done with that, you want it to be the consistency of like a packed snowball. So you don't want it to be wet or soggy or anything like that in your hand. You want it to be able to pack, but still have a little bit of a powdery feel to it. And then once you get that done, you just take your molds and you start to fill them up, and then just pack them down like you would if you were packing a brown sugar. And just continue to pack and layer and pack until you get it where you want it. I do put, when I'm putting my mixture into my molds, I try to leave a little bit of space at the top, because the mixture will rise as it dries, and it can ruin the shape of your bath bombs if you're not careful. So just leave a little bit of space, kind of like you would with cupcakes. Now here I'm preheating the oven to 200 degrees. If you put it on 200 degrees, and then once you get your bath bombs ready to start to dry, you put them in your oven and you cut the oven off and let them sit for about 4 hours, and it just helps to dry them out a lot faster. And then once they're done, you just take them and pop them out of your molds, and you can see how pretty those turned out. I like to use the silicone molds. I just think it's easier to get them out. I'm showing here how it actually looks once it's dissolved in the water, and these do dissolve pretty quickly. And of course, the food coloring is going to turn your water a shade of whatever it is that you're using. You can see the pink starting to disperse in the water here. And then the oil also, you can kind of see that floating on top as well. Now here, I think this container comes from the Dollar Tree, but I'm not positive. But I do know they do have some cute containers there. And I think I got about 13 of these little hearts into this jar. And so I just stack those in. Of course, you can put these in whatever you want to decorate. You could put them in the cute little cellophane bags they got out. However, there's all kinds of ways that you can gift these. And with this jar, after I got all the bath bombs put in and everything, I decided that I was going to put a cute little Valentine's ribbon around it, and that was how I was going to present mine. In addition, I did want to show you, while I was making this, Caitlin had set aside some of the mixture in different little bowls, and she actually made each bowl a different color. She wanted to make some bath bombs that were, I guess, like a real pretty bright camouflage. And so what she's doing here is she's just layering these different colors into the mold and pressing them down, and you don't really have to worry about these mixing like sand or Play-Doh or something like that and changing the colors. They pretty much stay to themselves. So you can layer them up and push them down, and layer them up and push them down, and the colors will not blend. They will actually keep to themselves. And so this is what she's doing with this particular batch that we did. And we did make several batches because we had a couple that the recording when we were doing it didn't turn out, so we had to do them a few times. But we really had a good time making these, and the bath bombs that Caitlin's doing here with the multicolors turned out really cute. I think we ended up getting 12 out of this. I'm not sure, because the recipe that we made today was actually a fourth of the recipe that we usually make. And the one we usually make makes about 30 some bath bombs. So depending on who you're gifting these for and who you're giving them to, you can double, triple, whatever your recipe is to make it work for you. And like I said, I'll post 2 different ones that we use down below, and then you can decide what you want to do. Either way, they turn out cute. They're very inexpensive. You make these and you're probably not ever going to want to go buy these expensive bath bombs in these stores anymore. And in addition to that, they're really fun to experiment with. You can do different scents, different colors, just get creative with it, and it's something fun that you can do with your kids too. I hope this video was able to give you some ideas of something that you can do, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.